David, are you there?
Hang on, John. Yeah, I am. I'll be with you in just a second.
Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry about that.
Everything
Sorry.
looks good?
Everything looks good. I can hear, I can see you. I was just putting it up on the YouTube stream, so that's what took me a second when you came in. So we're good to go for now.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
see you in a bit. Test. For Jesse, WehoTV. Hi, Lynn.
Good evening, David.
There you go. I think we're still waiting for the long range to adjourn.
They had a important calendar this evening.
Yeah, so they should
That's
be
fine.
popping in shortly, though. Yeah.
I don't anticipate this evening's meeting to run terribly long.
Right, I'm with you. I don't think it will be that long.
The assistant staff secretary is guarding the recycle bin. Aren't you? Huh? Good evening, Commissioner Thomas.
Good evening, Chair. How are you?
Cooler.
Did you notice the 30 minutes of rain we had earlier today?
I was sitting there and I had the windows closed and I'm like, is that rain I hear in my gutters? I'm like, what? And then I looked out, I'm like, oh my good golly, that's fantastic.
I was on my balcony and then I was like, wait a minute, hold on, wait, what?
Oh, well, we had to have a pride rainbow, right? Would have been nice if we did.
Yeah.
David said we're waiting on long range to finish. And I have no intention of accelerating them.
All right.
David, do we know if Commissioner Dutta will be joining us this evening?
Yes, I confirmed with the long range when they called the meeting to order, and he is there. So I'm anticipating him to show up for us also.
Excellent. To remember to turn off all the boingy things.
Okay, I just got confirmation they're just about to adjourn, so it should be momentarily.
Excellent.
Oh, and Michael, well, I mean, all design review. I sent the digital files to the printers, so I did not get confirmation back yet from them. So I'm anticipating tomorrow they'll be ready. But I'll send all three of you an email just to confirm when they are ready for pickup.
Great, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. We're just bouncing in from long range planning, which just wrapped.
Okay, Chair, and it looks like we have all commissioners present. So whenever you're ready, everything is good to go on our social media sites and CATV. So it's your call.
Okay, very good. Thank you, David. With that, I'd like to call the order this regularly scheduled hearing of the Planning Commission. It is June 17th, 2021, and it is 6:32 p.m. First, I would like to begin with our magical script. In compliance with California Governor Gavin Newsom's executive order to protect public health and prevent the spread of COVID-19, this Planning Commission meeting is being conducted via teleconference on the city's website and is also provided on a wide array of streaming media platforms to offer access to the public to the fullest extent possible. Side note, we're all hoping this is going to be discontinued very soon. WehoTV staff have confirmed that this Planning Commission meeting is currently streaming successfully on Spectrum Channel 10 and online at weho.org/WehoTV. In addition, and as a courtesy, this meeting is also successfully streaming on the city's YouTube channel at youtube.com/WehoTV and on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and Android TV. WehoTV staff monitor this broadcast on all platforms throughout the meeting and will notify the Planning Commission secretary should broadcast disruptions arise. Please do not interrupt the live meeting by calling or texting the planning commissioners about difficulties viewing the meeting. If you are experiencing viewing difficulties while watching this live stream, please reload the page or visit weho.org/WehoTV to access our official live stream and to view a list of other available streaming options. In addition, you may call in to listen to this meeting by dialing 669-900-6833, meeting ID 939-1582-9380, and then press the pound sign. Please understand that internet speeds, device reliability, third-party platform reliability, and individual or personal technical issues are out of the scope of this broadcast. WehoTV staff has published a guide at weho.org/TV to troubleshoot your connection. If you're having difficulties connecting to the meeting, you can also call 323-848-3151. And with that, I would like to move on to item 2, the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Thomas, would you be so kind as to lead us in the pledge?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Item 3, David, would you please call the roll?
Thank you. Good evening, commissioners. Commissioner Vinson,
Here.
Commissioner Thomas,
Here.
Commissioner Lombardi,
Here.
Commissioner Dutta,
Here.
Commissioner Carvalero,
Here.
Vice Chair Jones,
Here.
Chair Huppengarner,
Here.
and we have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to item 4, approval of the agenda. Are there any recommended amendments to the agenda? There being none, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move.
Thank you, Vice Chair Jones. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Carvalero, thank you for your second. David, please call the roll.
Thank you. Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Vinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Lombardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Dutta,
Yes.
Commissioner Carvalero,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones,
Yes.
Chair Huppengarner,
Yes.
and the agenda is approved as presented.
Excellent. Item number 5, approval of minutes. Item A is the May 20th, 2021 minutes. David, I believe we have some corrections.
Yes, we do. And let me share my screen real quick just to make it easier. Yes, staff left out a few key items from that long meeting. So I just wanted to make sure that we got it back into the minutes here. On page 6 of 13, the highlighted section underlined is what will be added. The commission expressed concerns that the media company logo was not included in the plans presented to Historic Preservation Commission. And if it were to be included, the project would need to be sent back to Historic Preservation Commission for review. And Commissioner Huppengarner amended that motion stating there shall be no logo on the sign, and Vice Chair Jones agreed to that amendment. And then the other correction staff had, it will be on page 8 of 13 at the very bottom. We're adding a line. This is actually under the zone text amendment for urban arts program guidelines. And we're just adding, highlighted in yellow, is they commented on and detailed how art is fundamental to the core of West Hollywood. And that's all staff has for corrections to the minutes.
David, was it item 2 or item 1? Because item 1 was the in the original minutes, which of course.
Under your original motion?
Yes.
Your second motion would be the item number 2.
Got it.
I'll correct that. That would be number 2.
Okay. And deleting item 1A.
Correct.
Thank you. Since they were my corrections, I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you, Vice Chair. David, would you call the vote?
Commissioner Vinson,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Lombardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Dutta,
Yes.
Commissioner Carvalero,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones,
Yes.
Chair Huppengarner,
Yes.
and the minutes for May 20th, 2021 are approved as amended.
Thank you. Item 5B is the minutes for June 3rd, 2021 meeting that has been continued to our next hearing of July 1, 2021. Moving on to item 6, public comment. David, do we have public?
I received no public requests for the public comment section. No, so we are clear.
Excellent. Item 7, director's report. Mr. Kehoe.
Good evening. I hope everyone is staying as cool in this heat wave. Again, my name is John Kehoe. I'm the Director of Planning and Development Services Department. Just a couple of announcements. As some of you may have known, the City Council meeting, the last one ended abruptly. There were some technology issues. And so some of the items that were related to Planning Commission items have been moved to the subsequent meetings. We were in the middle of discussing the housing element, so that's going to be continued to the June 21st meeting. One of the billboard items that was on that schedule is going to be continued to July 19th, and the urban art zone text amendment is going to be continued to August. The only other thing I want to give the commission an update is a congratulations to our own Tony Castillo. He was confirmed as a member of the Board of Trustees for the California Preservation Foundation. So that is a statewide preservation nonprofit that's involved in historic preservation education and advocacy. That's probably the premier historic preservation group in the state. So that's really great that we have one of our own folks from WeHo on that committee. So congratulations to him. And that's all I have for tonight.
Excellent. Then we will move on to item 8, items from commissioners. I'll kick it off with a big congratulations, Tony. That's a wonderful little kudo for both Tony and the whole WeHo family. Anyone else? Commissioner Caballero.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know that several residents that live near the corner of Larrabee and Santa Monica Boulevard have reached out to me. Apparently, well, not apparently, there's a apartment building under construction at 825 to 829 Larrabee, and the contractors are continually harassing the neighbors as they walk their dogs on a daily basis. I reached out to John Kehoe to let him know that, and was curious to find out if the construction mitigation guidelines include any language that prohibits this type of activity, and how we might be able to include language into the guidelines that would maybe support the idea of the contractor educating his employees that this is not acceptable in our town or in any place across the country. So I know that John was looking into that, and but I just wanted to share that with the commission and the public that this is happening, and it would be great if we could do something about it.
That's unfortunate to hear.
I will just weigh in that we are looking into it. Our current conditions don't have anything that really address that. And I have communicated information to our code compliance division as well. And I'll be talking also with our legal team.
Thank you, John.
I guess the other question I would ask is, it may not be in the conditions in the resolution, but is it in somewhere else in our ordinances or other civil codes?
And that's why I got our code compliance officers involved so they could take a look at if there's anything in our code. And right now they haven't found anything specifically, but they're continuing to look.
Thank you. Any other items from commissioners? There being none, I'm going to add one thing. I recently reported to code compliance what appeared to be construction vehicles parked in front of a construction site on the city streets. And as you know, that is not permitted by pretty much any resolution that's been approved in the past, at least what, 3 years, John? That there is no street parking allowed by construction worker vehicles. So, and this is, you know, particularly problematic in areas where there's a lot of construction going on, and the construction vehicles can easily suck up all of the available parking for residents. So for residents, if you experience that, you can please report that to code enforcement. If they don't know about it, they can't deal with it. But if you see construction workers parking their car in a city street and putting on their hard hat and walking to the job site, that is not allowed per the resolutions for the project. All right, that being said, let's move on to the consent calendar. Item 9A. This is an item about the capital improvements program for fiscal years 2022 to 2026. We are to look at a planning commission at the overall plan list for its consistency with the general plan. Robin, who's going to have the pleasure of this evening's presentation?
I'm sorry, because this is on consent and the agenda has been approved as is, don't we just go on to the next item and there is no presentation from staff? That was my understanding.
If that's the case, then unless any, Lauren?
Does it need an action? Let me just look. But it's on the consent calendar. It's not a hearing item.
But do we have
Yeah,
to
there's a
consent calendar? Or did we do it by approving the agenda?
no. You should take an action approving the item that's on consent.
Okay. Is there any discussion on the item? There being none, David, can you call the roll?
I'm sorry, Chair. Since it's open, I didn't think that we were having a conversation on this, but if there is going to be a discussion, I had a quick question. Am I allowed to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So my question, well, first of all, I just want to say that how West Hollywood differs from many other cities is that our capital improvements program not only includes, green space and streetscape, but highlights our commitment to our residents and the environment. So I love that this list includes things like purchasing and enhancing facilities that provide like recovery services, that being the Whirly Building and the Lions Club log cabin. It includes increased access to green energy and water conservation. But what I don't see on this list are supportive services for those experiencing homelessness. So I know that there was a consent item on this week's council agenda to begin a study on long-term supportive homeless housing within West Hollywood. So once this study is concluded and there is hopefully a commitment to create that housing, would that be added to this list? And then would the list then come back before this commission?
So probably not, because those would be services that are provided to individuals. So all of our services are through our regular budget process. And so those are funds that are spent to provide services. The capital projects are really for physical, something that you can touch and feel, like purchasing of a building, buying a car, building a street, building a park. So those are more for the physical type of things. Whereas if it's a service, like you talked about, social services, those are handled throughout the rest of the city's budget.
So maybe I misunderstood. I thought that the item before council was for long-term supportive housing that would be in a physical space.
Okay, if it was that, then eventually that might show up on this list.
Okay, and that would come back before us if it happens in the 5-year or 6-year span of this current program. It would come back before us.
So we look at this every year before the budget.
Okay.
So if it comes around next year, it might be on the budget. I mean, the CIP program, or it could be 3 years from now. But if it's a physical thing that we're purchasing or building, it would wind up on this list. And we see this list every year. Last year, because of COVID, we didn't do this update, but we should be doing this every year.
Okay, great. That was my only question.
And I would just like to add that, and I realize that the list pretty much highlights a single element of the general plan that it focuses on, but there are a number of items on this plan that I would like to express my concern that the city is including key elements of climate action in the elements, such as there's a lot of paving projects going on. And, are we looking at opportunities to do cool pavement? Are we looking at things, and these obviously, some of these are more costly than the traditional methodologies, but are we including these types of elements in our capital plan when we are moving forward on these projects, so that it's not just, this is how we've always done it, this is how we're always going to do it. I think there's some opportunities there for us to be much more proactive in our climate awareness and our actual actions, that we walk the walk and not just talk the talk. If there's nothing else, David, would you please call the vote?
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, can I get a motion, please?
Yes.
Thank
I
you.
will move
I
to
second.
approve.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you. Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Lombardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Odetta,
Yes.
Commissioner Carvalero,
Yes.
Commissioner Vinson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones,
Yes.
Chair Hoopengarner,
Yes.
and the motion carries unanimously.
Moving on, item number 10, public hearings. There are none. So item 11, new business. Item A, scheduling a special meeting of the Planning Commission on Thursday, July 29th, 2021. I believe we discussed this at the last meeting, that we wanted to include this as an optional meeting date should we need it, in particular as relates to the housing element, and for other needs. Do staff, Ms. Langer, do we need to do anything besides vote on this?
No, I think you can just vote on it as long as everyone's in agreement.
Okay, unless there's any discussion, is there a motion?
Chair,
Go ahead.
I have a prior engagement. I can vote on this, obviously, but I do need to make everyone aware that I have a prior engagement on that date, so.
Understood. And obviously we would need to make a quorum, but people are starting to have lives again. Oh my goodness.
And I will be out of town.
Okay. So technically we would still have a quorum.
That is correct.
Okay, very good. So we have a motion and a second. Do we have a motion and a second?
I'm sorry, Commissioner Thomas motioned. Who was the second, please?
I'll second.
Second. Oh, sorry. We'll give this one to Commissioner Dutta since I've been seconding everything.
Okay, thank you.
Now we can vote, David.
Okay, Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Odetta,
Yes.
Commissioner Vinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Lombardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Carvalero,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones,
Yes.
Chair Hoopengarner,
Yes.
and the motion carries to schedule a special meeting for Thursday, July 29th, 2021.
Thank you, David. Item 12, unfinished business, there is none. Item 13, excluded consent calendar, there is none. Item 14, items from staff. Planning managers update. Ms. Eason, you're on.
Hello, commissioners. Would you like me to run through the next several meeting agendas?
Please, just don't let it run too long, okay, Robin? We're
Okay.
kind of running over time tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, for the July 1st meeting, we will have elections, chair, vice chair for terms through June 30th, 2022. And we'll also hear the zone text amendment for the billboards not on Sunset. For the July 15th meeting, we will have appointments again for the subcommittees for terms through June 30th, 2022. We will also have a project 8760 North Shoreham Drive, which is an 11-unit apartment building. We just went through the July 29th meeting, will be a special meeting on the housing element draft. For the August 5th, we are planning to come back with the tree canopy standards that we presented at Long Range Subcommittee today. For the August 19th, we will have 2 billboard projects and 1 new bar project on 9159 Sunset Boulevard. I can also run through design review and some of the other subcommittees if desired.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. So for design review subcommittee on June 24th, we have 1 project 1040 North La Brea Avenue. It's just a major amendment to a previously approved hotel development. And then nothing until August 26th, which is a Melrose Triangle mixed use project. For the SAS, the Sunset Arts and Advertising Subcommittee, for the June 10th meeting, we have 8947 Sunset Boulevard. For the July 8th meeting, we have 8590 Sunset Boulevard. And for the long range planning.
Happened.
Say again?
I think June 10th already happened.
Oh my goodness, yes, thank you for that. My apologies. For the long range planning subcommittee, for the July 15th meeting, we will have the West Hollywood West design guidelines brought back to that subcommittee. And that is the end of my update.
Thank you very much, Robin. And with that, we will move on to item 15, public comment. David, have just a drove of publics arrived in our Zoom meeting since we last spoke?
I'm sorry, Chair, no. No, I do have 1 caller on the line. I'm not sure who it is, if they want to speak on this item or not. If you do, feel free to *6 at this time. But other than that, I don't have anybody for you, Chair.
I don't know, should we take this personally? Okay, with that, we will move on to item 16, items from commissioners. Item A, commissioner comments. Commissioner Dutta.
I just wanted to mention I will be absent from the July 15th Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you. Any other, Commissioner Cabrillo?
More of a question. I heard rumors that City Council will be having in-person meetings starting the middle of July. What does that mean for Planning Commission? Are we on the heels of that? And yeah, just curious.
John, can you speak to that? I've had secondhand info my own self.
So I haven't heard anything specific about commissions other than they would happen after the council starts.
And I heard that we would be first up after council. So, but council's going to be the guinea pig, and apparently it's all about the technology, because we're going to try and keep the Zoom going at the same time as live and in person. And so it's going to be about us being able to see both the Zoom and the people in the room being able to see the people in the room and the Zoom. And so I think we're going to put our WehoTV staff through their paces to make this happen. But I'm looking forward to how they can pull this off. And I think it's a good thing. It's a way to add more people to the process that wouldn't otherwise be able to participate. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I imagine just like when we started out with the Zooming, you know, we had some issues and some learning opportunities. I imagine this will be the same. Vice Chair Jones. You're muted.
Unless there are any other questions about that, I would just ask that staff keep us posted. I just wanted to say, I said it at Sunset Arts and Advertising Subcommittee, I believe last week. Yes, it was last week. I will not be at the July 8th Sunset Arts and Advertising Subcommittee meeting. I will be out of town.
Thank you. You jumped into item B. You didn't let me say item B.
Sorry.
Management. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Is there any other commissioner comments and or subcommittee management items?
I was going to say, on top of missing the July 15th Planning Commission meeting, I will miss the July 15th Long Range Planning Subcommittee meeting as well.
Very good. Thank you. There being no other items, I will adjourn this meeting of the Planning Commission to its regularly scheduled meeting on Thursday, July 1, 2021, beginning at 6:30 p.m. until completion. Given the local, state, and national state of emergency, hopefully not for much longer, this meeting will be a teleconference meeting. With that, everyone, we're going to be in July here very soon. So that's pretty amazing. And let's hope we are at 70% and healthy as all get out. Have a very good rest of June, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.